Welcome back to Update Day in Old School. In today's update, we have the second batch of main client improvements and then some changes to combat achievements. Unfortunately, I do want to reiterate that these changes are only available in the C++ client through Steam, and they said they are working hard to bring these changes to mobile. But first up in the changes, we have a settings menu reorganization. On the left, you can see the original settings menu, and then on the right, you can see the new settings menu. Basically, they've just added a few different categories to make the settings interface a little more clean, like the Activities tab, the Interfaces tab, and then the Warnings tab. Next up for the feature changes, we now have Agility Helper in the main client. If you've never used RuneLite, Agility Helper just basically highlights a massive green box of where you can click on the agility course in order to do the next activity. And this setting will automatically be off as a default whenever you do log in. So remember, you have to turn this on as extra assistance if you do want to have this. Don't think it's glitched and bugged and you don't have it when you log in. You do have to turn it on. Next up, in terms of big improvements, we have the draw distance. On the top image is how far you could previously draw out your screen. And now the image on the bottom is what your maximum draw distance looks like. You can see drastically more of Lumbridge all the way over to this chicken pin over here, where previously you couldn't even see the edge of the north wall. But going along with this zoom feature, they've actually implemented it into the minimap system as well. On the left, you can actually see a completely zoomed in version of the minimap, and on the right, a zoomed out version. And maybe you don't even like the minimap at all, and they've also added a disable option where you can remove the minimap and basically only see the orbs and the logout. Next up on the big feature improvements is tile indicators. They've added 3 different colors, the blue being the current tile you're on, the green is your target tile, and then the red tile is any tile you're hovered over. And then finally, to round out the interface changes, we have some buff bar improvements, now showing the ammo indications over here down in the bottom left, along with the stat boosters popping up immediately upon logging into the game. They've also changed the stat colors to make them more easily readable. And now for the combat achievement changes with this week's update. To kick it off, they fixed a few tasks that weren't working properly, one of which being the perfect Verzik task, which will no longer fail if you take damage from the Verzik's green ball attack, as long as it is bounced to another player. And then on top of all those task fixes, we also have some huge task adjustments. The Sleep Tight has been moved from Master Tier to Elite Tier, and the Nightmare Solo Speed Trialist has been moved from Elite to Master. And then finally, some drastic changes in terms of kill amounts. All of the KC changes they offered for feedback in the previous week's updates have been changed, coming in with massive 33% to 50% reductions in terms of KC. And then finally, with another little small bonus add-on with this week's update, is players can now use Verzik's crystal shards on their party members to activate them, allowing you to teleport them out of the raid in an instant. To enable this, you have to right-click a crystal and select toggle. Both players must have a crystal for this work, and both will be consumed in the process. But with that, that is everything from this week's update in Old School. If you did enjoy the video, consider dropping a like. It massively helps me out. And if you're around here often and you're not already, smash that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you're notified every time a new video goes live.